Mascot horror is amazing if it's done right. I'm a fan of it, first being introduced to the genre like many others with a game that values your life at the worth of Chick-fil-A sauce. Obviously I'm talking about Change 2 months later and that game still haunts me. Many people are confused on what a mascot horror game is, let alone what a good mascot horror game is. So let's start off with first defining what the hell that even is. In simple terms, a mascot horror game is a game where a mascot or mascots of a company are a key part in the game's story and or gameplay. So, your Five Nights at Freddy's, your Poppy Playtimes, your My Friendly Neighborhood, and even your My Rainbow Friends. Hey, so post-editing digital here. I just realized it's called Rainbow Friends and not My Rainbow Friends. But I'm not re-recording it because honestly I could not give a shit. They're all considered mascot horror games. They all have a company with a mascot. So now that we know what a mascot horror game is, now we want to know what a good mascot horror game is. And a lot of people get this wrong. Now around this time is when a person starts making a top 10 list, but instead I'm just gonna yell about you about some stupid shit you shouldn't do. First things first, be fucking original. I'm sorry, but if I see another mascot horror game that talks about dead children, AI, or taking place in the 80s or 90s, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. The best way to make a good game is to do something different that hasn't been done before, and that really goes for all forms of entertainment. I want to see more games with a unique premises, like Finding Frankie or My Friendly Neighborhood, and that actually brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. If you are making a mascot horror game, please genuinely add gameplay, because a lot of games forget to do this. See, the reason mascot horror games are so popular amongst developers is because they are marketable as fuck! The biggest example is Indigo Park. If you got rid of Rambly the Raccoon, you have nothing except a walk from point A to point B. Pretty much without this adorable trash panda, this game has fucking nothing. I still really liked it and I still had a ton of fun, it's just that it could be better. And in terms of horror, I can't be one to judge because well, I'll let the clip speak for itself.
That's weird.
Darkos, I really don't like this. Darkos.
For Rambly. For
Darkos.
Rambly, buddy.
Darkos, there's a distinct difference between like FNAF, like, oh yeah, and this. This is 3D. This is like, oh my god, imagine this in VR.
Digital. Listen to him right now. We got to help. No, that did not scare you. Oh my fucking. I swear to God, I'm gonna play the fart sound effect again. You're gonna shit yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Anyway, that's the reason I don't really like a lot of mascot horror games as of recent. They're either way too afraid to take a risk with a unique idea, or they don't really focus on gameplay at all. So try to stray from the norm and try to go into wacky ideas. A mascot horror game doesn't need to be science fiction or anything like that. Just make it an enjoyable experience. You don't need to try to make it the next big hit. Just make a game that's like, you know, genuinely fun to play. I believe Garten of Banban is the worst offender of the worst thing you can do with a mascot horror game. You see, the concept for Garten of Banban I think is actually pretty unique in terms of mascot horror games. A mother who is trying to find their child in a mascot-themed kindergarten. I think in terms of mascot horror games, that's a great idea. The execution, however, was fucking horrible. You know, I truly wish I could tell you my experience with this game as I played it, but the issue is I couldn't play it. Like, genuinely, I couldn't play it. And to understand why, here is the remote from Garten of Banban. You carry this everywhere you go. Now, it seems simple, right? A bit boring if you ask me. Here is the poly count for that remote. Fun fact, this remote has more faces in it and more polygons than the entirety of Super Mario 64. Now, when I first saw the game, it didn't look that intensive. I didn't even try testing it. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna download the game, play it, and we're gonna have a good stream as we make fun of this. Can't even do that, the game wouldn't launch. So, genuinely speaking, I can't even tell you how it is from a gameplay standpoint, because I'm not watching someone play it for 6 hours. But even from a just person who skimmed through footage, I can tell you right now, this game is nothing but hot ass. Apparently they had a collab with Choo Choo Charles. They also had fucking whatever this is. And genuinely, it has so many blunders, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, this game is not fucking scary at all. And second of all, they don't make any attempt to make anything scary in this game.
See, I give this game a lot of crap, and honestly, it has a ton of issues. Honestly, it's really hard to fix it. I don't know if they really even could. But the issue is, I wouldn't have a single problem at all if they decided to make this game free. But they didn't! It's not free! It's like $10 per installment, and they're not any better from one another. Like, what? Another big issue mascot horror games have is that they try way too hard to appeal to children. I understand that kids have a very wide audience, but you shouldn't have to limit your game around your demographic. Make your game and then set the demographic. Because what it's going to do is that's going to limit what you can do with your story, if you can put gore in it or not, and overall, it can make a really good concept into a really, really bad one. I actually have to applaud Poppy Playtime as of recently, because they used to have no bodies inside of their game, not a lot of blood either, but in the recent chapter, Chapter 4, there is bodies everywhere, bloods, corpses, they put the skull inside the toy, I have to applaud them. A lot of people have different opinions on the game, and it does have a few things wrong with the chapter, but honestly, my favorite addition to that chapter has to be the fact of they weren't being such a pussy, and they actually put, like, genuine like gore and or like scary elements into the game, and not just have a, you know, ooh, huggy wuggy, he has sharp teeth, he's scary.
You guys remember when Five Nights at Freddy's was cool? Yeah, you're missing out on peak gameplay right here.
FNAF Security Breach struggles a lot from this problem. On top of its many bugs, we also get, you know, not a horror factor at all. Not a single time in FNAF Security Breach have I been scared. Like, sure, I'm a very jumpy person. If someone walked to me taking a shit, I'd shit harder. I'd shit myself again. If anything, FNAF Security Breach wasn't scary. It was tedious. The scariest part about FNAF Security Breach was knowing whether or not my game would crash. Now, that's the end of the video. I really only made this to test out some new editing styles, and to really just get a feel for a new type of content. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing, or what I'm really talking about. I just felt like ranting about some shit with some weird fucking editing behind it. But if you liked it, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later!